I'm Lisa Hughes, professional fitness athlete, and these are some of the stretches that I do after my ham and glute training. My hips are pretty much tight all the time, as are most women's, so the first one I go down to do is on one knee. Stretches your quads too. I just want to make sure that my hips stay square when I'm doing this, and I'm just going to edge my foot out so my knee never goes beyond my toes. And I push my hips forward. I keep my hands on here to remember not to twist my torso. The more flexible you get in your ligaments and in your muscles, you can thrust forward a little bit deeper. I can really feel the stretch in my hip flexors and my inner hamstring. And I just hold that. I usually hold my stretches for 30 seconds to 1 minute, even sometimes longer. Most people don't stretch long enough. And from this position, I push back onto my heel, keep my posture up for a hamstring stretch on the opposite leg. Again, keeping my hips square. You don't want to be turning. Just hold that. And I'll go forward again. I repeat this about 3 times. Each time I go a little bit deeper and feel the stretch a little bit more. From this position, to get a deeper stretch in my quad and in my hip, I balance and grab my toe. You can also reach out for balance. Again, keep your hips square and just bring that heel in close to your glute. Really deep stretch in your hip flexor and quad. The next stretch that I do on my ham and glute days is another one for my hip flexors. You're gonna go down on your knees. Spread your knees wide. The whole goal here is to keep your feet together and down on the floor, okay? You may not be able to go too far at first. Again, it's because most women's hip flexors are very, very tight from sitting at work, driving, not stretching enough, but you work up to it. What you don't want to do is you don't want your feet to lift up off the ground. So keep your posture up, and as you get more flexible, you can go down to your elbows with your palms flat. And what you want to do is sink your pelvis down to the floor. So you don't want to be like this. Feet stay down, feet are together, pelvis is down. And you're getting a really deep stretch in those hip flexor muscles with the goal of, at some point, being flat. Like that. One exercise that I do frequently during my ham glute training and after is another one for my hips and my glutes. And it's basically you're sitting back in a chair. It's easier to stand and hold on to something as you thrust your hips back, and you can feel the stretch and keep that back nice and flat. You can also do these laying down, which I'm going to show for you right now. Lay down, flat, and you'll just cross over one leg and lift up. Sometimes that might be plenty and you can feel it. For those of you that need a deeper stretch, you want to clasp your hand underneath your thigh, and you can lift up using your core. Try and keep your neck relaxed. Also, you want to try and keep that knee flat. Don't let it curl up too much. That means your hip is really tight. So you can just gently press that knee out as you're pulling the opposite leg up. A stretch that works really great for those hamstrings after your training is a typical runner's stretch, where you cross your feet over, keep your feet flat, and then just hang, reaching for the floor. Always let that neck drop. Don't try and hold it up. Puts too much pressure on your neck and traps.
and just allow your body weight to pull you down and just stay there. When you try and reach too hard to the floor, you won't be able to stay long. So just let your body relax and hold that stretch. You can feel it from your lower back all the way down to your calves. Once you've held that for at least 30 seconds, then you'll switch sides, cross your feet, and just drop. Those are 4 simple stretches that you can do after your leg training. You should hold those stretches for at least 30 seconds each. Make sure you're practicing your deep breathing so that you can relax after your training. Typically, it'll take you about 15 minutes to stretch, and if you're short on time, you really are better off to cut your workout just a little bit short. It's not the wise thing to skimp out on your stretching. Stretching will help you recover, keep those muscles nice and flexible to avoid injury, and in the long run, make you stronger for your next workout. You can see more of me at LisaHughes.com.